I'm gonna talk to Frank over the meeting.
Oh, you? Good.
Hi, Frank. You're on the air.
Oh, good morning, everyone. Today's Thursday, May 4th, 2023. We're here for a work session, and as always, we're going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance. And Tim, can you please take the lead?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And thank you, Tim. Unfortunately, we don't have any announcements today, so we're going to go right into our first discussion item, which is matters surrounding special permit application of 120 Edwards Avenue, Calverton, propane storage and distribution facility. And for this, we have our esteemed planner, yes, Greg Berman, to introduce the topic today. And Greg, can you take it from here, please?
All right, thank you, Supervisor, board members. I do have Phil Dowell here. He is the operator of the business on the site. So this is a special permit application that was submitted. The site is at 120 Edwards Avenue in Calverton, which is in the Industrial A zoning district. The special permit application is seeking approval to locate an 18,000-gallon liquid propane tank to be used for storage and distribution of propane gas. This is a specially permitted use per town code section 301-114B4, and the proposed improvements will require site plan approval for the planning board. The project site's approximately 2-acre parcel on the east side of Edwards Avenue. It's about 350 feet north of the Long Island Railroad tracks. It's bordered on the north side by a solar farm, on the east side by the LIPA substation, and on the south side by a small industrial use. The property is presently improved with 6 20,000-gallon fuel tanks, as well as one 500,000-gallon fuel tank that are all located within a concrete containment area. All of those tanks on the property do have letters of pre-existing use. Regarding the operation, it is considered an onshore major oil storage facility. It does have a valid New York State DEC permit, which is valid through March 31st of 2025. I did get through the review of the application, we got letters from the Suffolk County Department of Health Services. They basically ceased permitting of the facility and kind of seceded jurisdiction to the DEC, so Health Department's not really involved with this application. I did receive monitoring wells. There are 4 monitoring wells on the property. Mr. Dowell is required to do annual groundwater monitoring. Those tests came back, there's no evidence of any sort of contamination, so the site's clean, runs a nice operation. Regarding SECRA, it is an unlisted action. We have reviewed the application and recommend the town board assume lead agency and issue a negative declaration. There's no significant negative environmental impacts anticipated. The site currently takes access via an existing, it's about 35-foot wide curb cut on Edwards Avenue. There is a locked gate at the entrance, so access to the site is restricted. One thing that's sort of relevant to both the special permit and the site plan is, I understand this is a pre-existing site, but there's really no vegetative screening whatsoever on the site, so you drive by. I would recommend that the applicant, there would be some room to just plant like a row of arborvitaes to just provide some measure of screening from the facility. Most of the vehicles and everything are located behind the tank, so it's not really visible, but it would be an opportunity to just spruce up the site a little bit. I did sort of go through and enumerate the special permit criteria. The one real relevant section to this application would be the special conditions or safeguards. So as part of the application review process, the applicant did prepare a fire safety analysis by a professional engineer that was reviewed by the fire marshal's office. There were some revisions he did. Craig did come back with comments. His one major comment was that he was concerned with a BLEVE of the tank, which is a boiling liquid expanding vapor explosion. Basically, if there is some sort of catastrophic event, these tanks tend to rocket off in a certain direction, he said, in the axial orientation. So his concern was that if the way the tank is currently proposed is sort of an east-west orientation, if there were to be a BLEVE, it's either going to go and hit those fuel tanks, or it's going to go into the LIPA substation.
Is it either tank or the valve on the tank, or like a release valve is going to take off, or are you stating the entire tank is going to move?
The end caps on the tank is
So
what
I think
I
it's a
understand.
valve that would come out kind of like a firing bullet.
So
It's very
like a
rare, but
fragmentation, yeah, I mean, so fragmentation, I'm just sort of relaying Craig's comments, but So one of the things was just the reorientation of the tank in a north-south direction, just to sort of prevent any type of issue that may happen. I did
How
speak,
many tanks are near there?
oil tanks?
Yeah,
So there's
storage.
6 20,000 gallon tanks and there's one 500,000 gallon tank, but I just spoke with Phil before the meeting, that 500,000 gallon tank is empty. So there's nothing actually in that 500,000 gallon tank.
Okay.
Craig did have some comments just to provide Knox locks at the gates, compliance with building and state fire code, as well as permits required from the fire marshal's office. I did refer the entire application to the Riverhead Fire District. They
Perfect.
got, by certified mail, they got a copy of the site plan, the fire safety analysis, as well as Craig's comments. So basically, provided them everything that they would need to, review this application. I would anticipate we would receive comments from the fire department.
So can we, you said you anticipate a response, can we direct them to make a response? Because I think that with the amount of storage there, and you have propane, and then you have gas, and you have, hundreds of thousands of gallons there possibly, to get a response from them, and that way everybody's covered and it's cleared, and, they say it's all fine. I think everybody, the public will be a little bit, and myself,
I can do that.
more at
I can
ease,
definitely
say-
reach out to them and try to.
So
fight-
to
fight
that,
the list.
to that point, I thought, can we put, I thought there was a 30-day,
Exactly what I was gonna say.
is it,
You haven't given them 30 days, so I think you're sitting here too premature. 30 days would be May 13th.
Well,
So
again,
I don't
so
think
we're,
you've given them a chance to weigh in, and I just think
yeah,
that
I'm
they
not,
should
I'm not
be-
pushing them for comments, I'm not,
No, we're
I
not, you
understand
said,
they have
part of
okay,
this
so
discussion.
let's clear this up.
I would anticipate that by the time we
You
get.
said the word anticipate, which doesn't mean you're gonna hear. That's what I'm saying. If it doesn't happen, you always have to follow protocol. And we know that. We're not gonna, move forward when you have 30 days. That's not how we operate in government. We shouldn't operate that way. So what we wanna say is, whatever the time is, and not anticipate, but if we don't hear from them, saying that we're requesting it, that the board or the supervisor's requesting it, absolutely. So, I just wanna make sure that the word anticipation just means, well, maybe they will, maybe they won't. We wanna make sure
no,
that
they have,
But-
they have
but
30
we've
days.
given them-
We passed code
Yeah.
that they get
It's not
30
30
days
days
to.
yet, so
Right.
they, they're still, they just
So,
got it.
yeah, I mean, they
need
just.
time to review it.
Again,
I'm certain
I'm
they'll
not
comment.
pressing, I'm in no way
Good,
putting anything
perfect.
on the fire district. They received the referral. I would anticipate, by the time we get to a public hearing would likely be maybe the first meeting in June.
perfect.
That would be well past that 30-day comment, but I will send them a letter
Okay.
just to
You know the process and you're
I-
good at it.
aware of the process, and
Perfect.
I will reach out
Thank
to
you.
them. Does the board have any other?
Yeah, I do. I have a question about arborvitae's. There seems to be a blight going on. Sometimes you'll see a bunch of them and like a lot of them are dead. Is there another thing you can use? Maybe Heather can come up with something?
We can look for just some native plantings.
Yeah, I would just check with Heather on this blight. I just recently saw I don't know, there had to be about 20 of them and I
They
would
do,
say,
All
they
of
don't
ours.
do well with road salt. So if you get some
Right,
snow
that's-
and they plow, and the snow goes up, the salt that's on the road is
Kill 'em.
detrimental to them, yeah.
All of
Just
mine are eaten up 5 feet high from deer, so,
yeah.
So they-
Just
they don't
whatever,
stick around.
it's a moot point for me. I
Right.
just thought if you want to do it, you might want to do it another way.
All right, so is the board amenable with the moving forward with secret and scheduling a public hearing? I'll speak with Diane and look at the dates.
The 18,000 gallon tank is going in the concrete corral area, correct?
No, the 18,000 gallon tank is actually proposed
Outside that.
outside the tank.
Okay.
Right now, the tank is in that containment area. That's actually what triggered this review, is the fire
Gotcha.
marshal went out there and saw the tank. So-
Right, because that's what I'm looking at here in the picture,
Yeah,
right?
so
That's-
that
okay.
tank is gonna come out.
Good.
The additional 20,000
Yep.
gallon fuel tank will go back in that spot.
I'm fine with it.
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
Yep, so am I. Great, thank you, Greg.
Thank you.
And then, don't go anywhere,
Nope.
because you're up next, for discussion surrounding special permit application to convert the building located at 940 Main Road in Aquabog to a medical office. And again, Greg, please take it away.
Thank you. So just one minor, it is actually 740 Main Road. That was just a little typo on the
There was a
error.
typo, okay, I'll correct that.
So
Thank you.
this, I do have Martin Finnegan, he's the attorney for the applicant, and we have Tyler Fox from JM2 Architecture, who's the architect on the project.
Good morning, you want to come up?
So what's the real,
740.
Oh, okay.
It's just,
It's where the chocolate company used to be.
Yeah,
hi.
All right, so, special permit application, this is seeking approval to convert an existing 1.5-story, most recently a retail store, into a medical office and perform minor site improvements, including expanding an existing parking area, install new LED light fixtures, and add landscaping throughout the site. Special permit is required from the town board because the site is within a quarter mile of the village center zoning district, so it is eligible to be operated as a professional office. And the improvements also require site plan approval from the planning board. Subject property, as I stated, is 740 Main Road. It's on the north side of Main Road in Aquabog, about 500 feet east of the intersection of Main Road and Church Lane. It's improved with a 1.5-story frame building, which was originally a single-family residence and has housed a number of commercial uses over the years, including an arts and crafts shop, wine tasting room, yoga studio, and, as Mr. Hubbard said, most recently a chocolate store. There's an existing gravel parking area. There is an accessory structure located to the behind the building on the north. Access is currently taken via an existing curb cut on Main Road. Proposed action is an unlisted action pursuant to SECRA, again recommending the town board assume lead agency and issue a negative declaration. They will require approval from the Suffolk County Department of Health Services for the change in sanitary flow. However, based on the calculations, it is anticipated that the existing system will be sized and adequate for use. As I said, the access is taken off a main road in order to provide adequate parking for the professional office use, which is more intense than retail. They are proposing to expand that parking, the gravel parking area. The one thing with gravel parking areas is there's no way to really physically delineate, so I just recommend some, curb stops, railroad ties, some way to just physically delineate the stalls. Regarding landscaping, they are proposing to really clean up the site, add some landscaping throughout the foundation, base plantings, nice perennials. The one thing I just would ask is that there are several really nice, big, beautiful, mature trees on that property in front of the house. I would just ask that they be shown on the plans and called out to remain. It would just be a shame to lose those trees. And there's also one large tree behind the parking lot that should remain. They are proposing to update all the on-site lighting with new dark sky compliant LED pole-mounted lighting fixtures, which very closely echo the current design. There is one minor note, there are 2 lighting fixtures in front of the building. It's unclear if they're going to replace them as well. I think that could just be a minor amendment. And then I did note that there are some unshielded LED, unshielded floodlight fixtures on the walls of the building. They just need to be replaced with LED dark sky compliant fixtures.
Greg, this is the same applicant that we met with at planning pre-submission?
Yeah, probably about a month and a half ago.
Right,
We've been-
Bob, you remember the
I do.
doctor was with the holistic and?
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like a great addition out here.
Oh, great, yeah.
absolutely.
Right.
Well needed.
Yeah.
So the structures, the aesthetics of the structure is really not changing, or just cleaning up the site, right?
Right.
Aesthetics of the structure do not change at all. So there was, based on one of the prior site plan approvals, the planning board in 2011 did require future cross-access. The way that resolution read, it required future cross-access to both the east and the west. Providing cross-access to the east doesn't really seem feasible, like you're not gonna.
Residential.
Yeah, and again, I mean, it could be developed in the future, but you'd have to,
Yeah.
there's no way to provide access in the back because you've got that accessory structure, and it just really doesn't seem appropriate to have cross-access across the front of the building, so,
Right.
I would just ask that a note be placed to provide for future cross-access on the west, that way in the event that site's ever developed. Again, we're not asking them to construct cross-access at this time, it's just a future cross-access, so you can do a little curb cut in the driveway.
Greg, can I just interrupt you on
Yeah.
that point? I looked at the prior site plan and at the cross-access agreement easement that was filed, and there's no reference to actually where that was supposed to be. Young and Young is working with us on this, they did the prior site plans, I'm hoping they can figure that out, but if you have anything that says exactly where that's, where you want us to put the.
It didn't define
just
it,
says
it basically
you have
just
to
said
do it.
along the west of the east, so I mean, that's really something we can
Can we just
address.
make a note, like, that it's as a cross-access on the western side, or do you need an actual location?
If you, I mean, I don't wanna split hairs about it, I mean, we can identify a location through the site plan process, and
Okay.
it's not a major,
Okay, great.
identify a 24-foot wide area amenable to the planning board, we can provide a future access.
You can always tweak it if we had to do it. Okay, perfect.
So we did get some comments from the Riverhead Water District regarding the size of the service, the RPZ, if there is one, some minor comments from the town engineer, and then again, went through the special permit criteria. I think it's a great reuse of a building. Again, it's not changing the aesthetics, they're not adding a story on it, so I mean, it's really just providing a, needed service out there in Akabog, reuse an existing site, spruce it up, clean it up, get some landscaping, and get a good user in there, so. Again, would ask the board move forward to SECR and schedule a public hearing. I will talk to the town clerk and get the available dates if the board's amenable to such.
I don't have a problem with that.
Yes for me.
Yes for you? Anybody else?
No?
No? Move
So I
forward?
think it's a great,
Good way to clean up the
very
site.
impressed when they came in and presented
Yeah.
what they're looking to do in there, so.
Thank
All right.
you.
Well,
Yeah.
best of
It's
luck,
really
guys.
excited to get it going, so, I guess we'll see you in a few weeks.
All right.
People are getting into vitamins finally,
Yeah.
you need,
We all need a little of that, right? Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
You're
All
welcome.
right, guys.
Thank you, good luck, gentlemen.
Have a good day. Thank you, Greg.
Hopefully the public hearing is as uneventful as.
Hey, Greg,
Okay.
just before we run on a side note, do you know offhand why Hobby Lobby didn't do a cross-access into where Best Buy was?
There was some type of, because Michael's is located in the Riverhead Center Plaza, and I think there was some type of corporate, I don't know the specifics, but what I am led to understand is that Michael's wouldn't agree to it. It would be like, basically like Burger King and McDonald's, like.
Right,
Yeah, having
Hatfields
access.
and the McCoys saying, yeah, you can come over. Again, I
because the
don't wanna-
parking lot goes right up and then
It was-
stops.
It was basically set up for the
Set up
future
for it, and then
cross-access.
there's like 6 feet of grass and a curb, and then,
I believe there is future cross-access on Hobby Lobby's site in the event that Riverhead Center comes in.
okay.
We did try to address that issue when they came in for a site plan several years ago, and they basically walked because we were gonna require that cross-access. So, I think there's corporate interests that we really can't.
Did see though
Is the
during
chief here?
the discussion at the Suffolk Theater and the master plan, the comprehensive plan, that they talked about gaining future access between all those things as opposed to going out on the road.
Oh,
to
it
come
makes
back
so
in,
much
come back
sense.
in.
So
So much
we
sense.
do,
hopefully
when
it
we
will work
review
in the
site
future.
plans, we do take a look at cross-access. So just for example, recently when Toys R Us changed over to Lidl, we did require a future cross-access on that eastern property that would connect to
the
the medical
medical
office. So
buildings,
that way
yes.
someone, because right now there's a no left turn out of
Right.
Lidl, which I'm sure people disobey and try to make a left
Mm-hmm.
turn. So we have a future cross-access agreement filed on Lidl in the event that there's any type of site plan on that medical office. If they want to do facade improvements, anything that triggers a site plan, we'll have them push through so that people can come from Lidl, get out to the traffic light at the intersection with the office and Target, and make a left. So it is
With-
something we sort of address whenever applications come in. You can't force someone's hand unless you go through probably an eminent domain proceeding, which, cross-access does exist on a lot of properties, but there are some, prime opportunities that we could address.
I'm just wondering with new owners of that shop of Riverhead Center, if maybe they might be willing to reconsider opening that up for, I'm sure Michael's hasn't changed their opinion, but, you know,
I know that there are a lot of, when these tenants go into and they sign these lease agreements.
yeah,
It came up recently, I was speaking to the developer of the Tractor Supply site in relation to the HK Ventures application. Some of these entities and these tenants do have sort of like a right of refusal, where they have to authorize if they're gonna do some sort of amendment.
that's a shame. We should have more teeth as a town to say you must do it, to keep that traffic down and off, and it's so much easier to go from center to center when there's cross-access and going back out onto 58 or 25, whatever.
I can speak with the town attorney's office to see if there's a way to sort of force that. I mean, I think it would probably go through a legal proceeding or your eminent domain, something to that effect where you're kind of forcing that improvement. But
Yeah.
I can reach out to see if there's.
Okay,
any-
I'll check with them too, that's fine. Good.
All right, so we're gonna move on to the chief. Is
Thank you,
here?
Greg.
Thank you, Greg. Chief?
Just advised by the chief, I wrote the wrong month on your agenda, so I will amend that.
That's-
March 9th, we're going to talk about.
Okay, so we have our chief here, Chief Hegelmiller, is coming forward to discuss the most recent crime report. I'll let you take it from there. Thank you. It's the March 2023 report.
March.
May the 4th be with you.
May the 4th be there. All right, Chief.
Wish you'd come with like a really small binder and be like, this is our crime report.
No, it's looking good, it's looking good.
An
So,
index
as
card.
Devin
An
just-
index card, yeah.
Right.
Stick it.
We can do that.
Post it, rather.
Yeah, just all good. As Devin said, this is the March 2023 report we'll be doing. I do have April. I just hot off the presses. We can go over that if you want. You don't have it yet, so probably put that to next week or something like that. Okay. I think the numbers look good for April. I think they look pretty good in March too, so. Calls received were up. That's a given. Domestics were up, which was, I think, the last 2 months they were down, so they rebounded quite a bit for March. Motor vehicle accidents are down, which is good. Deer accidents are only up by 2, which is good. So they're low this time of year. Everyone should still be aware that they're still out there, so. Summonses way up, 1342 for 2023. Arraignments were up, arrests were up, criminal incidents were down, which is a good sign, and non-criminal incidents are up, which reflects the amount of calls that were up top. Revenues collected are way up according to the billing cycle. Overdoses was 0, which is great news.
All right.
2 Narcan uses, and I think that's about it for March.
Chief, how do you think this bail reform thing, bail reform is going to help us out? Giving the judges more authority to decide if somebody, let's say, has been arrested 3 times in the
Right.
same
I mean,
day?
it obviously should go that way.
Yeah.
We were in agreement with the way it went in the beginning, so hopefully the pendulum will swing back a little to the way it should be, so. Should help.
We were at a meeting this morning, and Ray Tierney was there, and he's actually working with the governor's
Yeah.
office, and apparently, he's spearheading this. He's going full force. That's what he told us, to try to deal with this. And he mentioned fentanyl, how dangerous it is. You just need just a teeny bit, and everybody's using it, and you can't get bail. You can get arrested
Everybody's-
3 times for selling
Right.
fentanyl,
So he had,
and the person walks.
Yeah, some of the laws out there are pretty crazy, even when it comes to dealing with juveniles and stuff like
So
that.
he-
It's really out of control.
he said if you have less than 8 ounces of fentanyl, out of the 21 people that were arrested, 10, either 10 were kept or 11, and the other ones just walked. And if you have less than 8 ounces, which can kill 135,000 people, right? Guess what? You can walk. I don't who makes these laws? I mean, it should be if you have,
The legislature makes the laws.
Yeah, and we do have an epidemic. We're not seeing it as much now in Riverhead.
Can we make our
But of
own
course,
fentanyl law in New York? Can we do our own?
Not as a town.
Why
Yeah,
not?
not at our level, I would
Not
say
at that level.
statewide, you probably.
But if the
could. I mean,
state
we've
is
done
so
it.
stupid that they don't care, why can't we make a law that if you get arrested with fentanyl in Riverhead, and I guess we can, maybe I'm being the stupid one,
It's a
thinking,
penal law violation, we don't have the authority as a town
Okay.
to
Right.
set a local law
Right.
to change that.
I'm the stupid one.
And the penal law is New York State. So,
Penal law, right.
yep, so it's created in the.
Why they don't
It's
change?
what we operate under though, so, right?
So who wrote those laws? People like El Chapo and the boys?
But just look at the marijuana, so they say you can, right, sell it, you can smoke it, but the laws aren't even there to take care of it.
That's why I voted against it. We don't
Right.
even have the laws. And look what's going on in New York City.
Right, it's crazy,
People are
right.
selling from vans.
Right.
They, one weekend, they made 100 illegal sales
Right.
from stores
Right.
in one weekend.
Yeah, there's a lot of
And I think
illegal.
Harlem is
It's
still in the
horrible.
city or
No
something like
laws.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's, hopefully that's not gonna reach us here.
That's gotta swing
Because we
the
don't
other-
have the laws in, on the books.
It's gotta swing the other way too, it's gotta be fixed.
Yeah. All right, right, chief, so,
You
the
want
next,
him to do April, Supervisor, while he's here, or you want him to come back?
I didn't get to look at them, but I
Yeah,
guess we
none of us
could.
did, but
Okay.
I'm sure he can give
We
us
can do-
copies,
yeah.
it'll save him another trip.
I don't actually have copies with me, I just,
Devin? Then-
hot off the presses.
Can you make copies of this for us? Well, why don't we go on to the next topic and then, while she
Sure.
makes copies,
Yeah,
and
because
then
he's
we'll
here
come
for the
back.
next topic.
Just make copies for us.
Let me send it to you.
This is the morning.
This is one.
Okay, so I'll wait to get it and then I'll print it and give it to you.
Yeah, we're gonna move on in the meantime to the next topic anyway.
Am I here for the next topic?
Yes, you
Yes.
Yeah, did Devin
Wait,
tell you?
before we go on, it's National Hurricane Preparedness Week.
Okay,
Is that why it was windy today?
So,
rained yesterday.
hurricane season starts, we all know, June 1st.
till
Okay.
November.
Till November 30th, correct, Supervisor? So this is the week to take a look at your plans, your safety plans, your hurricane plans. There's a plethora of information out there. You can go to our website, to the links to all preparedness. Ready.gov is the federal preparedness website. DISHES is the New York State website. It's all on our website. You just have to go to the local links, and you'll see emergency preparedness. And then you can choose whatever site you can go to. You can even go to our site. We have information on there too. The county is Suffolk County Frez, and of course Red Cross too, so.
I
Be
think the
prepared.
University of Colorado, or Colorado State University, one of them did the predictions for major storms this year for us on the East Coast, and I think they said they're 12 or 13.
I'm sure it's up. Yeah. Okay, we're not doing April yet, right?
No, Devin, did you get that? Okay, good.
I didn't get the email yet, but as soon as I get it, I'm gonna print it and give it to you guys.
Okay, just double check that he sent it to the right
I didn't
email.
get it yet.
And then, anyway, we're gonna move on to the next topic until we get the April report. And it's regarding cameras for our downtown. I know that last year we expanded our program to various other areas, and the chief, do you have the expansion with you that we can share? And then I know Tim wanted to discuss this further.
Yeah, I just wanted an update to see where we were and how many we have operating and how many more we
Slowly-
need and how much
slowly
more
but
money we
surely.
need to,
Slowly but surely.
The senior center, I understand, is in.
The good news is actually we're working an investigation right now where the cameras downtown are coming in handy, so.
good.
Yes. We can talk about that one, which case it is,
Whatever
but
this is, we'll post that when we're finished,
hopefully.
to the website as well.
All right, so Chief, you wanna discuss?
Yeah,
that?
so, just look to the left, those are the phases that we have. We're up to 8 phases at this point. Some are complete, which are the gray. The green are being worked on as we speak. I think what slowed us down is we had some issues on one of our first installations was Railroad Avenue. So, those cameras, we did something to our poles down there, which was in the way of the cameras, so those cameras had to be rearranged. So that took some time, and they're working on that. The riverfront too also is an issue. Hopefully, we should have cameras down there very shortly. The problem was the poles on the riverfront are being replaced. So I guess we can put cameras on the western set of poles, but not the eastern set of poles. But they're working on that also. Laundromat, we're 50% of the way there. We have the front cameras operational. We're still waiting on that back camera to work.
That's gonna be in the back also. That's a
Correct.
very sensitive location, and there's a lot of stuff happening there. That's a really critical location. So I'm glad that we were able to add that last year.
The 2 phases, and I know I've talked about this before, are the north side parking lots, east and west of Roanoke Avenue. We really want them there as soon as possible, and then Main Street is under a design phase. The problem with the north parking lots is there'll be a lot of cameras, but getting them to one place to get to here is the issue. Currently, if we go to the community college for our hub, to call it. There's some interference with cameras crossing each other. So we're trying to look to spread that out, maybe a hub on the west side and a hub on the east side. So hopefully we get some cooperations from business people down there, because we need room to house the hub or the.
Okay,
Another critical location is behind,
Right, the server, whatever
Diggers.
you wanna call it.
yeah, well, that's it.
Diggers, right.
Yeah, so we
Phase
have,
6 and 8 are very critical.
Right, so I'm looking at, I think maybe we can get some cooperation from Georgia Green. That would be probably an ideal building on the west side. On the east side, I think they're looking at the Congregational Church, so hopefully Reverend can help us out a little
Okay.
bit too.
I'm sure
Those are critical.
Ms. Malone will
Yeah,
be more than cooperative to help with
I
that.
think so. It's nothing much, it's a unit that hangs on the wall and
Yeah.
it just gathers our information, so.
Okay.
We have to have access to it though, so that
Right.
might be a little bit.
Chief, those two locations, what's the timeframe on that? Because I think we gotta move on that.
I
There's so
think, I
much.
think they plan to start installation in June.
Okay, so next
So,
month?
yeah.
All right, and, okay, in time for the summer too,
Right.
so.
Are we short money, or do we need more
Well,
money
we're gonna
to
need,
get done?
yeah, no, so the north side parking lots will need funding, and so will Main Street need funding.
Yep, and that was funded by you guys, from
Right.
ARPA money.
Right.
We expended, what, 200,000 more? Which included the senior center and these additional cameras.
Senior
So,
center, right,
yeah.
senior center's complete.
Yeah.
The thing with it, it's not a one-time cost either, it's a recurring cost.
Right.
Because they need a maintenance agreement, they need to take care of them, all that stuff, so,
Yep. Is there any iCloud storage involved with these, or no?
no.
That
No,
would be
so it goes
expensive,
to
yeah,
the-
Oh,
thank
that'd be
God.
through the roof, I know.
Yeah.
That's-
I mean, what would help
would
us
be-
if there was some kind of fiber connection
Right.
that we can get into, but, and they asked me that question, and I don't think there is one yet as far as we're concerned, so.
There's gonna be one, I mean, when you say a fiber connection, is it connecting to their fiber or?
No, they would have to hop on Optimum or whoever's providing the, or whatever it is, Altice, whoever's providing the service.
Have you spoken to Chip about that?
I have not spoken to Chip.
In regards to what we're running for the new town hall, if that might be available, is
Well,
that what you're
that's
thinking
what
Well,
about?
hoping.
We're running, I mean, we're running fiber now
I know.
from Pulaski to here, and also from Howell to Second Street. So I would talk to Chip,
Okay.
because, I mean, we're paying significant, like, I think it's $270 or right around there, $270,000 to run
$275, I
this,
think, yeah.
this fiber. Yeah, Chip should be on Zoom so we can talk to him.
I will, I'll speak to Chip. We have John from my side of IT. He's in on the project, so.
Good,
yeah,
perfect,
I'm sure
okay.
he's aware.
Yeah, let me know, Chief, just in case there's something.
Yeah,
Well, you're also on the committee with
Yeah.
Hubbard, right?
Yeah.
For the town square, so that should be part of, and Chip is part of that, so maybe bring it up
Town hall.
next Tuesday also.
Town,
But-
the other town, yeah, no, we're
that's
gonna,
part of, and he's on it, so you have everybody together next Tuesday.
yeah, because my concern is this, that I know they did the walk, so, and they may have started already.
okay.
All right, so,
I'll touch
Okay.
base with them.
all right,
Main Street shouldn't be an issue because we have East End Arts, so those are our buildings. We also have the conference station down on the west end, so hopefully those two places will work out.
Okay, good, good.
Okay,
So we're coming along.
Because, as
All
I
right.
say, slowly but surely.
and,
there.
so we're gonna move on, Chief, with the April 2023 report on
April.
crime. Actually, this is interesting, because now we can do a comparison from March to April.
Yeah, no, and I think it's pretty similar, actually. So
Okay.
as you can see, just calls received obviously are up. That's just the way it is, more people, more calls. Domestic incidents are down, which is kind of canceling out what's happened in April. Motor vehicle accidents are up 9, increased by 9. Deer strikes are up, very low.
Uh-oh.
You're dealing with small numbers though, so I mean, it's 2 to 4, that's no big issue. Summonses,
Doubled.
yeah, right.
50%
It's up
increase in deer
100%, that's a
accidents.
100% increase, right.
It's 100%.
That's why I hate dealing with these small numbers, because it's like,
No, they're
1
gro-
to 2 and it's 100% increase.
This is Kern's baby,
No,
okay?
but
I
th-
gave him the
That's the only
stats.
reason it's here. I have a little note here that says,
I gave him the
when
stats.
Councilman Kern leaves, we're taking this off, so.
I gave him the stats for for 4 years in a row, and he was like, oh my
But-
God, this is
but
so
Chief-
great.
Chief, but the thing is, these are the deer hits that are reported. We don't know
Correct, we
about
don't
the
know.
unreported.
There's
right,
many that hit them and keep on going, and
And-
then we pick them up.
And I'm glad we're doing this because the state is now, this is becoming real, so, not just for, it's becoming real. Thank you.
Bob, do you like or not like the taste of venison?
I do like it.
Then I'm just wondering why you're pushed to get rid of all these deer is.
So they stop trampling
So
the
you're
the
eating.
birds nesting in Ebcal, not the hot rods in there, it's the birds. The deer are trampling the hell out of it, and they're killing all the little critters in the woods, and they're eating endangered species plants. Plus the fact,
And my rhododendron.
I think
I was
they,
gonna say my wife's flower garden, and that's where it ends there. You gotta get rid of the deer.
but I
That's it.
think they own an auto body shop somewhere.
There you go.
Okay.
Summonses are way up. Arraignments are down. I think that's reflective. Criminal incidents are way down to 184 to 164 for April. Arrests are up only slightly. We went from 90 to 93. Non-criminal incidents are up, reflective of our called increased volume. Revenues are also up. And that's, I think, about, and good news again on the overdoses, 0 for April.
Oh, good.
And 3 uses of Narcan.
Okay, so,
Like, when you count Narcans, is it, if a ambulance company uses it?
Yeah, and
is
if we
it-
know about it, then we capture
Okay,
it.
so they have to report
Right.
it to you that they've
Correct.
utilized it?
I just want to see what's on that sheet.
all right, Chief, did you want to talk about being in Albany?
Albany, yes,
Come on.
so, this is gonna be a shocker, but Tim Murphy, Officer Tim Murphy received the DWI award from MAD for probably the 30th year in a row, so.
In a row.
I know, I'm aware of too.
So we, we were up there on Tuesday, about, over 300 people,
Good.
statewide, so it was a statewide, awards presentation. And, they gave an award, a Lifetime Achievement Awards to Suffolk County Police Officer. He had 900 DWI arrests. So I turned to Tim, I said, what's your total? He's up like over 1,800 DWI arrests for his career, so. He will be getting a Lifetime Achievement Award at some point in time. So,
Okay. So I think the police conference is up there this weekend, right?
are they? They might be.
Yeah,
It might be
I was
police,
just trying to
police
make it,
Memorial
but,
Week, right?
it
Coming up?
conflicts with our.
No, yeah, coming up.
Coming up.
They're up
Coming
there.
up. Yep,
They're up there
Monday.
right now, or they were just the other
Yep.
day. I know I was talking to Dixie.
I was gonna go up there, but the actual ceremony is on Tuesday, and I have a work session on Wednesday, so, but we wish them luck.
Yeah.
And thank them for everything that they do,
For sure.
yeah. All right, Chief, thank you, enjoy your weekend.
Problem. I think I'm staying, right? Is that, am I next too?
Yes.
Oh, geez,
Oh, yeah.
are you again?
Yeah,
Well,
so-
I
Chief,
have.
you want lunch?
Yes.
Yeah, right. Well, I have the deputy town attorney Danielle Hurley at the request of Councilman Rothwell to discuss matters surrounding amendment to chapter 289-17B regarding parking at the waiting room. So you are back here again. And Ken, you want to start this off?
Yeah, so the chief and Danielle were very nice, put together a presentation for us a few months ago and made some proposals, and I did have some initial concerns, and it was about, at the time of the presentation, about limiting parking down by the Wading River Duck Pond to a shorter duration. I did want a little time to kind of look into it. I've kind of looked around on Sundays, and the church parking lot, for the Congregational Church, it doesn't really seem to overflow into the main parking lot, so that was one concern that was alleviated. I have made contact with members of the Wading River Fire Department, and for their events, they're really using more of the dirt road, the annex road, we'll call it, across from St. John the Baptist Church, so it doesn't really seem to hamper them. It's a town parking lot, so I think in an effort to be more fair, to all of our store owners, restaurant owners in the area, I did go down there. I received many calls. I did go down there. We walked around the parking lot with the store owners. So there are 6 stores down there, and then you have the restaurant. So walking around with them, I think we came to a nice agreement. Instead of the initial proposal making 8 and going across the full length of the parking lot, we're going to kind of restrict. We'll go down to 6 stalls, but restrict it really to the west side of the parking lot, which is closer to the shops. Most of the shops, you have like a coffee shop, which is in and out briefly, so short duration, 30 minutes or less, is plenty of time to get a cup of coffee, leave. There's the seafood restaurant owner, I spoke with him, and though he has people that come in and sit down for lunch, he said the same thing, 30 minutes would be great, and that parking space can keep turning over. There is a flower shop as well down there, so also short duration to go in and out, pick up flowers. REM is like a design company, does like woodworking, things like that. He's like, well, 30 minutes, he felt might be rushing some of his patrons, so he was more up to see like 1 hour parking. I think the overall concern is that the events that happen at the tavern, the restaurant is there. There's, the parties on the weekends in terms of like sweet 16s, bridal parties, whatever it may be, baby showers and things like that. He seems to book up and fill up that parking lot very early part of the day on Saturday, and they're just limited. So the question is, how far will somebody park in the distance to get a quick cup of coffee? And so we don't want to hamper them. And so having a nice conversation with them, I talked to the chief about it. Danielle was great, and she brought all this out and made design work, and we just kind of reworked some of the figures. Instead of going 8 spaces, we're going down to 6 spaces. On either side, we need to keep the handicap spaces where they are, obviously. So we're going to either side of the handicap spaces. We do 2 30-minute parking. And then on the northwest 2 corners, we'll do 1 hour parking. And I think that kind of accommodates, and the store owners were thrilled. If this comes to fruition, they feel like it's greatly going to help them in their business. So I think we got a nice mutual agreement going. I think the one thing we have to address is we do need to change our town code, because I think we don't have 30-minute parking in our town code. So we just need to address that, and I'll leave that to you, Danielle.
Yes, so I did amend 289-17, and for A, we have 15 minutes, which will be changed to say time periods less than 1 hour. So that way we can keep the 15-minute spot, but now we can add the 30-minute spot in there, and if in the future there's 45-minute spots, they can also go in that section now as well.
It's a catch-all.
Yep.
But anything under that, that makes sense.
Yep, so that's how we fix that, and then for B, the 1 hour, we just added to that the 2 spots that Councilman Rockwell had discussed.
And this has gone through the code committee?
It went through code revision initially. It was more important to make sure that traffic and
Okay,
parking were all in
so if it
agreement
went
as well.
through and you're okay with the chief, I think it's a good recommendation. You want to move forward with that?
Yeah, I think so, because I'm concerned about the summertime coming in. That's when a lot of these stores thrive on the weekends, where people are really walking around and then utilizing the smaller stores as opposed to the main shopping centers. So in an effort to help them, I'd like to push forward as soon as possible.
I just have
Okay,
one
so-
question, Ken. They were fine with, so is it 6 plus 2 handicap?
No, the 2 handicaps are already existing.
Right.
So we're not going to touch them because they're right near the crosswalk. So we want to keep the
Right. Oh,
handicap
okay.
spots right where they are. On either side of the handicap spots, we would turn the 4 spaces, so 2 on each side, to 30-minute parking. And then in the upper northern west corner, make 2 1-hour parking spaces.
So it's a total, and the
Total of
stores
6
were-
spaces.
And they were okay with 6 spaces?
They would be thrilled.
That's good.
So they're
Danielle has
hoping
a
that
diagram
this is a
if you
quick
wanna see it.
turnover.
No, we have one.
Okay.
It's good to take care of our businesses, right?
Yes.
Especially that corner that's very active.
Yep.
And it's one of the central areas in Wading River for your local shops, so it's a
And
great idea.
there is no parking on Sound Road, so.
Right.
Right, yeah, so you're pretty much tight, so great idea.
And I just want to say, I thank Danielle and the chief for bringing it forward initially. I wanted to physically go down there myself and just kind of look, because I was concerned about the church and fire department, and we are
It all
good. So
worked out?
thank you for bringing it up to our attention.
No problem.
Okay, great,
Did you
so we're
put the
gonna move
duck
forward?
crossing in yet down there for the ducks
I-
to come back?
I think it's still there, actually.
All right, guys, thank you,
No problem.
Okay.
thank you. Okay, anyone have anything else?
Devin needs to read the resolutions. Oh, there aren't any.
Make some up, Devin.
Okay,
Yeah.
we have a comedian here today. How's your conversation with Frank, good?
Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, I just,
Okay, everyone, this is gonna end our discussion items, and we don't have anything for executive. Last week, executive, how long was that, Tim? Executive
days.
session? Hours?
Yeah, that was
a lot, that was pretty,
It was a working.
I guess it made up for
a
this
working
week, because you go
Yeah.
from having like 8 items to 0, but it's okay. And so, can I have a first and a second, please, to go into closing this work session for today?
So moved.
Second.
Good. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
I'd like to stay.
So moved. Thank you, everyone. Enjoy your weekend, and please be safe.